Introduction to HACCP. In this video, we will introduce the Hazard Analysis and Critical Control Points (HACCP) system, a systematic approach to help prevent foodborne illness. We will discuss the 7 principles of HACCP, including conducting a hazard analysis, determining critical control points, and implementing monitoring procedures. HACCP is a systematic approach to food safety that can help prevent foodborne illness. The HACCP system is based on 7 principles that are used to identify and control potential hazards in food production. These 7 HACCP principles are: Principle 1. Conduct a hazard analysis to identify potential hazards in the food production process. Conducting a hazard analysis is the first step in implementing a HACCP system. This involves identifying potential hazards at each step of the food production process. Hazards can include biological, chemical, and physical hazards. Examples of biological hazards include bacteria, viruses, and parasites. Chemical hazards include substances like pesticides and cleaning agents. Physical hazards include foreign objects like glass or metal. Once potential hazards have been identified, the next step is determining which ones are significant and require control measures. Principle 2. Determine the critical control points, CCPs, in the food production process. A critical control point, CCP, is a point in the food production process where control measures can be applied to prevent, eliminate, or reduce a hazard. Examples of CCPs include cooking steps, metal detection steps, sanitizer concentration, etc. The third principle of HACCP is to establish critical limits for each CCP. Principle 3. Establish critical limits for each CCP. Critical limits are the maximum or minimum values that must be met to prevent or eliminate a hazard. For example, the critical limit for cooking temperature might be 165 degrees Fahrenheit for the chicken to ensure that harmful bacteria are destroyed. Principle 4. Establish monitoring procedures for each CCP. Monitoring involves regularly checking CCPs to ensure that critical limits are being met. Monitoring can include visual inspection, measurement, and testing. If monitoring reveals that critical limits are not being met, corrective actions must be taken. Principle 5. Establish corrective actions for when critical limits are not met. Corrective actions can include stopping production, identifying the cause of the problem, and implementing corrective measures. Record keeping is the 6th principle of HACCP. Principle 6. Establish procedures for record keeping and documentation. Records must be kept to document the HACCP system, including the hazard analysis, CCPs, critical limits, monitoring procedures, corrective actions, and verification procedures. Principle 7. Establish procedures for verification to confirm that the HACCP system is working effectively. Verification involves checking the HACCP system to make sure it is working effectively. This can include reviewing records, conducting audits, and testing products. In conclusion, the HACCP system is a systematic approach to food safety that can help prevent foodborne illness. By following the 7 principles of HACCP, potential hazards can be identified and controlled, ensuring that the food we produce is safe for consumption.